warnings about the potential dangers of artificial intelligence. So what should we expect as Congress tries to wrap its mind around the issue? Let's get some analysis on that. Joining me to talk about it this morning is Dr. John Behrens. He is a professor and director of college technology initiatives at the University of Notre Dame. He's also got an extensive history with AI. Dr. Behrens, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. Thanks so much.
So, are we too afraid of artificial intelligence, or are we not afraid enough?
Well, I think we're striking a good balance right now. It's both a very exciting time where there's lots of possibilities for improvements in efficiency and potential new discoveries and advancements of science, but there's also a time where we need to be very careful. We need to look at what's happened the last 30 years with the evolution of the internet and other technologies and look at where things got a little bit too far and where things need to be kind of thought about more deeply. Things are changing very quickly right now, and it's hard for the regulatory agencies, even academia, to keep up with all the technological changes and predict what the impacts on society are.
Well, this has taken the world by storm. It's taken me by storm because I feel like with virtual reality, it was sort of conceived of in movies, and you thought maybe, okay, this makes sense. I had some concept that this was happening. I feel like ChatGPT launched in November, and then it was like, oh, by the way, you can write entire books, you can write essays, you can do all kinds of things with this technology. And it was like, I never even thought that this was a possibility. It just sort of came out of nowhere for us. Now, maybe not for somebody like you as a professor, but I'm just curious as to if the Senate commission here, if the Senate committee is going to be able to handle the questions about something so new, because we saw some of our members of Congress be embarrassed by asking how Facebook makes a profit. And I'm worried that we're going to have a repeat of that.
Mitch, I agree with you 100%. First off, this work has been going on in the lab for a number of years. These models have existed for about 5 years and have evolved over time. But what's so different, what we see in this new generative AI, both in images and in text, is that it's doing things that we have not had software be able to do that looks very, very, very human. And that disarms you, it changes your relationship to the software, and it really helps you get your guard down in a way that is confusing and can lead to all kinds of misinformation and mistrust of the system. We saw yesterday one of the members of the committee express concern about what this is going to do for blue-collar jobs. Very little expected impact in blue collar in the short term. The real impact, to your point, is really in the white collar space, because it's these kind of technologies like ChatGPT are doing things with text, generating the kind of behavior that we've seen historically in white collar humans.
Yeah, I mean, we could all be replaced, right? Do we even have AI at this point that can tell if something is AI? Because I feel like that would be useful.
It's a problem the technology firms are working on. In some cases, for instance, in the case of image generation, they're starting to put watermark specific markings on the images so that can be tracked. Google just announced a product or a feature in their product suite that will help track that. But we don't have good tools for doing that across the board right now, because these systems are so natural and fluent in generating language. It's hard for both humans to know when it's human generated and the machines as well. But they're certainly not perfect. But again, what happens is it's easy for a human to look at it and say, oh my gosh, that looks like human writing. Over time, we'll get more sophisticated, but then again, so will the software.
It just seems like incredible, this technology, and that it has a lot of potential, but there are no guardrails at this point, at least not that I am seeing, aside from whatever the programmer puts into the algorithm to say, hey, don't say this thing. But that's it, and that is also up to a human being. What do you think is the ideal regulatory structure for handling AI to make sure that we take advantage of its benefits and don't fall prey to its weaknesses?
Yeah, so I think the first thing we need to think about is making sure that the current laws that are on the books that cite things such as data privacy, protection of children, and bias in decision-making for different individuals, the first point is we have to make sure all those laws are being enforced in the context of this new software. After that, we need to think about the cost and benefit of different kinds of things. But again, to your point, this is happening so quickly, it's hard for regulatory larger framework to kind of evolve in a way that's sensitive to what's actually happening on the ground.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.